First of all, before I read, I want to talk a little bit about the Tampa Zine Fest, and that's kind of why I'm here tonight, to promote it, talk about it, invite you all out to it. Tampa Free School, Tampa Upcycle are joining together to put on a Zine Fest in Tampa, July 27th at the Roosevelt in Ybor. It's a Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. And if anyone writes a zine, knows someone who writes a zine, does anything related to any sort of like independent media or publishing, hit us up, table, come. We want to build a community of people doing the DIY thing. So reach out to us, cross the bay. It's free to table, free to come. And yeah, so please do. We'd love to see you there. We're on Facebook. We have a Tumblr, Tampa Zine Fest. So hit us up. If you have any questions, you can talk to me. I've got some flyers in my purse if you want to take some with you. So in honor of that, I'm actually going to read one of my zines. And it's called How to Start a Band. In middle school, read copious amounts of Sylvia Plath. Memorize Lady Lazarus in full fathom 5. Decide that you are Sylvia Plath reincarnated. Your proof? The inexplicable scar running lengthways down your wrist from your suicide in your past life, even though this wasn't how Plath died. Fill a behemoth 3-ring binder with page after page of shitty poetry. You've also been reading Ayn Rand, so you write lines like, Petrograd stands on skeletons, its roads are paved with bone. Relentlessly share your poetry with your friends who don't even pretend to care. Realize that you are the only person you know in real life who voluntarily reads poetry. Eye the thin volumes on your bookshelf with contempt. Stop writing poetry. Decide to become a novelist. Plath wrote The Bell Jar, after all. Never get further than the first chapter of your novel about the girl who has a tawdry affair with the moon. While watching VH1, back before the invasion of reality TV, when the music channels actually played music, hear Bob Dylan singing like a Rolling Stone. Take the mental note. Music is the poetry for the masses. With your first paycheck from your first job as a cashier at the grocery store down the street, where you have to wear a demeaning red smock, buy an acoustic guitar starter kit from a big box music store. Learn all the fingerings of the 8 or 9 chords charted on the single sheet of paper included with your guitar. Find a stained Mel Bay guitar chord pamphlet from the 70s in your parents' garage. Learn 3 more chords. Study no theory, learn no more chords. Refuse to practice anyone else's songs. Replace Plath's The Collected Poems with Dylan's Tarantula. Wax poetic about junkyard angels and back alley prophets. After listening to Highway 61 revisited a scrillion times, buy from eBay a Triumph t-shirt like the one Dylan's wearing on the cover, even though you've never ridden on a motorcycle, let alone driven one. Dressing the part will be important one day, hopefully. Spend the next 5 years writing hundreds of songs you tell no one about. Deny it when your mother asks if she heard you playing your guitar at 2 a.m. Shove pillows into the crack beneath your bedroom door for DIY soundproofing. Convince yourself this actually works. It doesn't. Stumble across a website devoted to Jandek. Read everything about him you can find and stay up for the next 3 days, too terrified to sleep because you're certain he's a psychopath waiting outside your bedroom window to kill you. Jandek's like an independent underground musician. Write and record in your boyfriend's parents' garage an entire album of songs about Jandek being a psychopath out to kill you. Mail this CD to Corwood Industries, Jandek's record label. Also make a post about the album in the Outsider Music live journal community you belong to. back when LiveJournal was still vibrant. It was at one time. It was like the Facebook of the day, I guess. Begin chatting with the only person who comments on your LiveJournal post. Mail him a copy of the Janjek album. Continue exchanging music. Start recording songs together, emailing the tracks back and forth. Get a package from Corwood Industries with a letter inside telling you your album was good and to keep writing and playing music. Also included 2 of Janjek's CDs. Okay, maybe he's not a psychopath. But then again, now he has your address. Break up with your boyfriend and move across the country so you can move in with your musical collaborator. Start dating him. Don't make any music for the first 2 years you're together. During that time, mention how bored you are at least 3 times a day. Repeat until he finally snaps, okay, we'll start a band. Say you want to play folk music like Bob Dylan. He says he wants to play punk rock like Leatherface. He will learn how to play drums. You will learn how to get over your crippling shyness. Wonder if maybe you should be the one who learns to play drums, even though you have no rhythm. But the drum kit is good for hiding behind. He puts his foot down and says, these are your songs. You have to sing them. So you sing them. Recruit on bass his best friend who wants to rock like Iron Maiden. Wonder how this is going to work. In your friend's living room, have one practice using your acoustic guitar before going to a different big box music store and buying an electric guitar and a used tube amp. Spend all the money you have on these 2 items. Move your practices into a cockroach-infested storage unit that smells like sweat, piss, and stale beer. Keep practicing even when it gets too hot to breathe, you're too tired, your fingers hurt, and it's not really fun anymore. Name your band something that may or may not be a phallic joke. And don't tell your mom about it. Miraculously get a show at a dive bar downtown. Feel sick the 2 weeks prior. At the show, play 5 songs and screw up most of them as you fight the urge to vomit all over the microphone. Afterward, cry for 3 days and say you're quitting music forever. The following week, return to practice. Return the week after. Return the week after. Keep going. Call your mom and unload your secret. You're in a band. This makes it real. Repeat to yourself, you're in a band. You're in a band. You're in a band.
Yeah.